Hi, everyone, and welcome. Ever found yourself, really frustrated when a plan just falls apart, someone doesn't show, maybe?
Oh, definitely. Or flip side, you're the one who messed up, and now you've got to figure out how to apologize properly in English.
Exactly. So today we're going to zoom in on a really short but quite revealing English conversation. It's all about disappointment, saying sorry, and, well, trying to fix things.
Yeah, we're looking at this dialogue between two people, Sally and Alex. It's actually from a YouTube video aimed at English learners.
Right. But the conversation itself, it's pure gold for understanding how native speakers handle these everyday little conflicts.
Totally. It's packed with those common phrases and, the subtle ways we communicate.
So our mission here is to unpack it all. Not just the words, but the feelings behind them, the communication strategies.
And for you listening, this should really help you grasp phrases around promises, being let down, apologizing, stuff that comes up all the time.
Yeah.
It'll boost your understanding and maybe your confidence in using them too.
Okay, so let's dive in. The whole thing kicks off because Alex notices Sally's been dodging his calls.
Right. And he just asks point blank, "Are you mad at me?" Straight to the point.
No messing around. It sets the tension immediately, doesn't it?
And Sally's reply is interesting too.
She just says, yeah, kinda.
Kind of. It's not a full-blown yes, but it's clear she's not happy. It's like a typical way to show you're annoyed, but maybe open to hearing an explanation.
Leaves the door slightly ajar. Okay, so why is she kind of mad?
Well, she lays it out pretty clearly. "You promised to help me move last weekend."
The broken promise.
Well,
Classic.
"But you never showed up." And that phrase, "showed up," is key here.
Right. It implies an expectation. You were supposed to be there.
Exactly. He wasn't just late, he was a no-show. Complete absence.
And she adds the impact, right? She says something like,
"It was really stressful doing everything alone."
oof. Yeah, you can feel that. That lands. Okay, let's pause and break down some vocabulary right there. First, Alex's question. Are you mad at me?
Be mad at. Pretty simple, really. It just means being angry with someone. Very common, very direct way to ask.
Got it. And then Sally uses never showed up. We touched on it, but let's define show up.
Show up just means to arrive somewhere, especially somewhere you're expected to be, like a meeting, a party, or, helping someone move.
So saying someone never showed up emphasizes they completely failed to arrive. Big difference from being late.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Carries that weight of unmet expectation, of being let down.
Okay. So Alex hears this. He knows why she's upset. How does he react?
His first response is, "Oh no, I completely forgot. I'm so sorry."
Completely forgot. What do you make of that? Is it a good move?
It's interesting, isn't it? On one level, it's honest. He's owning the memory lapse, but it could also sound a bit like, her move wasn't important enough for him to remember.
Yeah.
It's a bit risky, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. It lacks a bit of consideration, perhaps, even if it's true.
Right? But then he does follow up with something really important. He says, "You're right to be upset."
The validation. That's crucial, isn't it? Acknowledging her feelings.
Absolutely. Saying you're right to feel that way can really take the heat out of a situation. It shows empathy.
Okay, so he apologizes, he validates, then what?
Then he says, "But please don't take it to heart. I'll make it up to you."
Okay, two big phrases there. Let's tackle don't take it to heart first. What does that usually mean?
Generally, it means, try not to be too sad or offended by something. Don't let it deeply affect you. It's often meant kindly, to comfort someone.
But how does it land here after he just admitted he completely forgot something important to her?
That's the tricky part.
Ah.
Here, it could actually come across as minimizing her feelings, couldn't it? Like, "Yeah, I messed up, but don't make such a big deal out of it."
Exactly. It feels a bit dismissive of the stress she actually went through. So maybe not the best phrase choice in this exact moment.
Potentially, yeah. It shows how context is everything with these phrases. What's meant to soothe can sometimes, rub someone the wrong way if their feelings aren't fully seen first.
Good point. So the second part of his sentence was, I'll make it up to you. What's that one about?
Make it up to someone. That's all about wanting to compensate, to do something good to balance out the bad thing you did. It's about reparation, really.
Showing you want to fix it through action.
Precisely. And Alex actually does offer specifics.
Right. He doesn't just leave it vague. He says,
"Let me take you out for pizza, and I'll help with anything else you need this week."
Okay, pizza and help. Why is being specific like that generally better than just saying, I'll make it up to you?
Well, it shows concrete thought, doesn't it? It's not just an empty promise. Pizza is a nice, immediate gesture.
A peace offering, sort of.
Yeah. And the offer to help with other things during the week, That acknowledges the inconvenience wasn't just a one-off moment. It shows a bit more commitment to actually helping.
Makes sense. It feels more genuine, more tangible than just words. So how does Sally take this offer?
She responds, okay, that sounds fair. So she's accepting the apology and the offer.
But there's a little addition, isn't there?
There is. She adds, just don't forget again.
So acceptance, but with a condition, or at least a clear reminder.
Exactly. It shows that, okay, she's willing to move past it this time, but the trust has taken a bit of a knock. That broken promise still lingers.
Yeah, that little add-on speaks volumes, doesn't it? Forgiveness isn't always forgetting.
Definitely not. It highlights that rebuilding trust takes consistency. And then Alex's final line.
He says, I won't promise.
Just adding that word promise, does that help, do you think, after he just broke a promise?
It's debatable, maybe. Like, on one hand, he's trying to sound extra sincere.
Right, emphasizing his intention.
But on the other hand, given he just forgot a promise, maybe the word itself sounds a little weak. Like his actions, the pizza, the offer of help probably speak louder at this point.
I tend to agree. The actions seem more convincing than repeating the word promise right after breaking one. It depends on their history, I guess. But in this snapshot, the offer feels weightier.
Okay, so let's pull back. Looking at this whole exchange, Sally's frustration, Alex's apology, the resolution. What bigger communication lessons can we take away?
Well, one thing is the directness, particularly at the start. Alex asking, are you mad? And Sally confirming it, even gently with kind of.
Yeah, no beating around the bush. It gets the issue out in the open quickly.
Which can often be healthier than letting resentment simmer, you know?
Definitely. Another thing is the power of validating feelings. Alex saying you're right to be upset was probably a key turning point.
Huge. It shows he's actually listening and understanding her perspective, not just trying to get himself off the hook. Empathy is so important.
And then the move from just saying sorry to offering concrete actions, the pizza, the help.
Yes. Making amends often requires more than words. Tangible actions show genuine remorse and a willingness to repair the damage.
It really demonstrates taking responsibility.
Exactly. And finally, the whole thing really underlined how important promises are and the impact when they're broken. Sally's "just don't forget again" reminds us that reliability matters in relationships.
For sure. Trust is fragile. Okay, so quick recap of those phrases we dug into. Be mad at asking directly about anger.
Show up, meaning to arrive as expected, crucial for commitments.
Don't take it to heart, meant to comfort, but needs careful use depending on the situation.
Right, and make it up to offering to do something positive to compensate for a mistake.
These are all like super common in everyday English, especially when you're navigating disagreements or apologies.
Absolutely fundamental building blocks.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Think about a time you had a misunderstanding, maybe similar to Sally and Alex's.
Yeah, how might knowing or using these phrases or even just recognizing the intent behind them when someone else uses them have changed things?
And beyond these specific phrases, what other ways can we, communicate disappointment effectively or seek real resolution when things go wrong? Something to mull over.
Definitely. And hey, if you do want to sharpen these skills, check out resources like the YouTube channel this dialogue came from. Listening to how native speakers use language and context is just invaluable.
Couldn't agree more. Pay attention to these little interactions. They teach you so much.